Lahore Grammar School Quetta, lesson by Faiza Shah for grade 7, component is language arts. And today we are reading a passage with the topic Ordeal at Otter Lake. Do you see this big alligator here? I'm really scared of alligators. Are you? Please let me know in your assignment if you're afraid. I will put that question if you're afraid of alligators, so that um, so that you can send me uh, if you are afraid of alligators. Well, I am. They terrify me. They're terrifying, and they're horrible. I don't like them as well. I'm sorry. I love nature. I love animals. I love wild animals. I don't mind. They are part of the nature. But for some reason, alligators, I don't know why. I don't like them at all. Although they are known as the last of the alligator, oh sorry, of the dinosaurs. They are the species that still represents dinosaurs on the earth, although the dinosaurs vanished millions of years ago. But as you can see, the teeth, the claws, the scales, the big heavy tail. Have you ever seen a real life alligator in your life? I mean, a real live one. Well, I have seen one, and it was in Dubai. Terrifying, honestly. I didn't enjoy it at all. It was huge, enormous. It was humongous. I didn't like it. Well, about the author, it is always very important to talk about the author. Why? Because whatever the writing, the piece of writing normally uh, represents the author personality, or sometimes they are very true events. In this case, it's a true event. It actually happened. But when we were talking about Susan in our last passage, we know that Susan started writing at the age of 15. She was very young, and she wasn't very happy with the way the teenagers were portrayed. And that's why she wrote that book. So that's what inspired her. Now, and that is exactly why the writers normally jot down their feelings, because it's part of their personality. So, Jack Rudlow was born in Brooklyn, New York on February 17, 1943. So, he is an American writer. Rudlow began his career as an environmental activist at the age of 8. As you can see, that he was only 8 when he began his career, but not a professional career, I'd say. He was only 8 when he bit the leg of a camp counselor who was about to kill a turtle with a sledgehammer. So while he went camping, his camp counselor must have found a turtle and was about to kill it, but Rousseau, at the age of 8, didn't know what to do. So instead of stopping him by saying that, stop, don't kill the poor turtle, he instead, he started biting him. And he bit him hard on the leg to put up his idea that no, you're not supposed to kill the turtle. So his career, as he says, as he believes that he started his career when he first bit the counselor on the leg, saving the first turtle of his life. So he loved nature. And at the age of 14, he moved to Florida, and he started working with plants. So not only animals, but he also loved plants. And that was the sensitive plants experiment was published in Scientific American. So it was one of the famous magazine back then. And while he was still attending high school, so he was still in high school when he got his first book called Experiments with Sensitive Plants published, right? And as you can see here, although he hated alligator after the incident at the Otter Lake, he still worked for them. He still worked at the refuge for them to, for people not to kill them unnecessarily. And that's it, yeah. Moving on. This beautiful picture of a golden Labrador is actually the picture of Jack's dog called Megan. And this is a story of Megan and Jack and obviously his wife and his 10-month-old child, they went to the Otter Lake. They used to go to the Otter Lake, and they were never attacked by the alligator because Jack used to work for them, and he learned about them that they would not attack. They were just too shy, and they would go away when they see people. But unfortunately, when he went for a picnic there, which was not allowed, by the way, an event happened that was heartbreaking. This beautiful Labrador was eaten by the alligator, and this is how the writer writes about it. Please listen to it very, very carefully because it can help you in your creative writing as well. Because the 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 words are more like picture. The way he has portrayed the whole environment and the whole fear and the sadness in his heart for his dog, it's just amazing. The way he wrote it, it's just amazing. Read it yourself as well, and read it again and again repeatedly, because it will help you write a good piece of writing next time. Not a sad one, but you can write a happy one as well, because the writer has been very, very smart. He has been very smart to jot down the whole event as if he is portraying a picture. So, an enormous alligator rounded the curve of the lake shore and was bearing down on my Labrador. The cold brownish yellow eyes, gliding just above the opaque water of Otter Lake, were fixed on Megan, my companion, my friend for 3 years. So it means that the golden Labrador was only 3 years old when it was eaten by the alligator. At the As the beast sped into the shallows, I could see the ugly white spikes of teeth protruding from its crooked jaws. Megan, bewildered, was almost out of the water, swimming towards me, unaware of the danger. Then the black plated reptile put on a horrible burst of speed. Suddenly it seemed to lunge upwards, its webbed front claws spread menacingly apart. Then the alligator struck, clamping its jaws on my pet. It twisted and rolled, dragging Megan down into the mud and weeds. Otter Lake had always been a retreat for me and my family, but now the dark water exploded as the alligator slapped its tail. I saw the webbed rear feet and then the narrow, undulating tail. I could not see my dog. I would never see her again. With horror, I looked at the empty lake. Its calm waters mirrored the moss-draped oaks and stacks of white, puffy clouds. It was as though nothing had happened. I fled on my car, feeling betrayed, robbed. I spun out on the highway and raced towards home, still screaming. I was glad to be alive, and I shuddered when I thought, in the spot where Megan was attacked, my wife and I had taken our 10-month-old baby swimming. For 20 years, I had been involved in environmental causes, trying to save little blue herons, turtles, and alligators from man's technology. I knew the importance of the ecosystem of these beasts, the last of the dinosaurs. In fact, without them, the swamp would be a poorer place. But now, in the aftermath of Megan's death, I found myself torn. It was 3 weeks before I returned to Otter Lake. My wife and I launched our canoe. This is a canoe, boys and girls. As you can see in the picture, there's a man sitting in a canoe. So they put the canoe in, they launched their canoe in the water. I wanted to see that alligator again. He wanted to see that alligator again who ate his dog. And it has been 3 weeks and still he feels very terrified and he feels very sad. To begin healing the mental wound it had inflicted, to restore it in my mind to its proper place as a flesh and blood animal. There was a splash, a swirl of water, and an alligator surged ahead away from our canoe. For a moment, hatred and fear returned. I wanted nothing more than revenge, but the lake was in the wildlife refuge. I had been in the wrong swimming there. This was his home. So this is very nice. At the end, although the hatred, and he wanted to take a revenge on the alligator for killing his dog. But he was thankful to God at the same time that his baby was there and his wife was there where Megan was eaten. It could have been his baby, it could have been himself, it could have been, his wife. So he was in a way thankful to God for being still alive, and to see his baby and his wife. um, but at the same time, he wanted to kill that alligator, and he wanted to, he was still having that hatred towards the alligator. But then in the end, once again, being thankful when he left that place, when Megan was eaten, and then spending 3 weeks at home thinking about the event and thanking God, and also hating the alligator for eating Megan. But at last, when he came back, he saw the alligator, and he at first wanted to take revenge. But then he realized his own mistake, that it was the alligator's home, and it is natural for an alligator to eat something, obviously if it's hungry. And that's what it did. It's very natural for an alligator. He didn't do it to hurt Jack Woodlow. He wouldn't do that, because Jack Woodlow was taking care of the alligator. But then by the end of the day, alligators are just alligators, just like snakes. These reptiles, I don't think so that they can connect to a human being. But anyway, the alligator looked at us boldly. It was just a matter of time, and he would be destroyed and nuisance to people. In his mind, he thought that this alligator, who looks at me so boldly right now, could be just in a matter of time would be destroyed by the people, and they would make bags out of his, that's what they do. They make bags, and they make shoes out of their skin. And he thought that people can destroy, we as people, we can destroy them. But he said that even though he killed my dog, and I loved my dog very much, it would be a tragedy to see an alligator being turned out to become a purse or shoes or a belt. So it's good ending that the author realized his mistake, not to come back and swim at the Otter Lake, because the Otter Lake is a wildlife refuge for the alligators. So it is actually home for the alligators. Now, how well did you understand? What did the alligator do when it seen that the dog was going to escape? When the dog was escaping and the dog had no idea that it is about to be eaten by the alligator started, it sped toward the dog, and with the help of its claws, it grabbed the dog and took him very deep under the weeds and mud. It was as if Tyrannosaurus Rex had come to life. What does the writer mean by this? As you know, that the writer has mentioned that the alligators are the last of the dinosaurs. So for him, seeing the alligator attacking his dog, it was almost like as if he was living in the dinosaur age, and he could see a dinosaur attacking a thing that is alive, especially his friend. It was his friend that the alligator attacked. So he felt very bad. Why had the writer thought that he was safe from the attack by an alligator? Well, he thought that he was safe because he used to work there, and he used to come there every now and then, and he was familiar with the alligators, and he thought that they won't attack because they were familiar with him. But what he was not sure of was that if the alligators are hungry, they would eat almost anything. They could even eat the human who's taking care of them. So we should be very, very careful when we are around the alligators and such reptiles. Snakes. Snakes are kept as pets, but they have the tendency to attack people when they're hungry. So they even chew up their own little ones when they're hungry. So we should be very, very careful. He thought he was safe from the attack, but was not. The dog was eaten. Why had the alligator come to the lake? The alligator didn't come to the lake. It was the author who went to the lake. Alligators were living there. It was a wildlife refuge, and they were supposed to live there, so they were living there. Why did Jack Rudlow enjoy going to the Otter Lake? He enjoyed going to the Otter Lake because it was away from the city, and there were no phones ringing there, and it was quite peaceful, very quiet. How did the alligator plan to kill the dog? The alligator plan, yes, the dog was swimming, and when it was just about to leave the waters, the alligator sped towards the dog, and yes, and it. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I love dogs, and talking about it, it kind of makes me a little nervous. Talking again and again about a dog being eaten by an alligator, it's terrifying. Sorry. So, anyways, that's what he did. He sped towards Megan and took it deep under the mud and seaweed and killed it, suffocated it so that it will suffocate and that alligator can eat it. I fled to my car feeling betrayed and robbed. Why did he feel betrayed and robbed? The author said that I went to my car when my dog was attacked. I instantly took my wife and my child towards the car, but when I was fleeing to the car, I felt betrayed and robbed. Betrayed because he was taking care of the alligators and he thought that they won't attack, but they did. And robbed because his best friend of 3 years was taken away from him. So he felt as if the alligators betrayed him and took away his friend. So it was a very bad feeling. So that is why he said that he felt betrayed and robbed, because he thought that the alligators will not attack. They won't attack, but the alligator actually attacked and robbed him of his friend. The dictation words: ordeal, opaque, menacingly, doldrums, torso, maw, undulating, bewilderment, aftermath. Please look for their meaning. It's in the back of your book, or you can look it up in the on the internet. Look it up, use them. These are very good words that can be used in your daily life routine, or even when you're writing a good piece of writing, they can help. So it was not a very good story. It made me very, very sad. You guys take care of yourself. Stay home, stay safe till we are back again at the school. Bye bye.